trading team is December 6, 2022. It's Coach Avalos back at you with a market update. Wow, what a day. We studied our charts and everything we thought was going to happen actually happened. So let's take a look at what turned red. Almost everything out there turned red except utilities. You got consumer staples, real estate, healthcare. You have technology, energy, and communication services. Red, red, red. So it looks like the market is selling off. Will it continue selling off? Well, only one way to find out. Let's go study our charts. Okay, let's start with our famous SPX. Yesterday we talked about filling a gap, and a gap we did fill. So let's take a look at this. We ended the day there and we had this entire area to fill. So when we first started reversing, we said this would be target 1, SPX would reach here, and this is target 2. So it looks like we hit that with no problem today. The market sold off like nobody's business. So what's next for SPX? Well, let's come down here and look. So we're going to come down and we have another target that we can potentially hit, and that is going to be at about 3,900. Okay, so let's go ahead and oh, I got a double arrow here. All right, let's go ahead and mark that off right now, and we will see how we do tomorrow. Now, do I expect the market to have a little bit of a pullback since we have a gap here? Absolutely. But if you look at Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, Google, the 5 giants need to wake up and do something for this. So let's take a look a little bit more at SPX and why do I think that we're going to go down even more? Well, this is very simple. I'm going to turn on the 200-day moving average, exponential moving average, and we are under it. You see that green line? We are under the 200. And if I come over and turn on my 50, we actually stopped and saw some support here at the 50. So I don't know if we're going to hold on to this. I do know that we have ways to go down, and I think the market is going to continue going down there because when we come down here, and this is on the daily, okay, we've already crossed the MACD, okay, and can this reverse itself? Well, one of the things that I look at is how many times has the MACD for SPX reversed itself at this level. So let's mark it off, and as I go through and I look at every time the MACD has flipped over at that level, it has not reversed for a long time. At that level, once it crosses, you can see from history, at this level it continues to go down and it doesn't reverse itself. Okay, so that's one sign for me. The other sign we have is that we have our RSI as well touching the 50-day moving average, but it will continue to go down. It does have some resistance, and let me show you that line. You can do this with your RSI and just mark off where it met resistance on the way up, and it looks like it hit it pretty hard. So another thing to look at here, okay, is if you guys like using indicators that give you good signals, come over and try the Heikin-Ashi Smooth. Okay, this tells you when to sell, when to buy. So when the stock market is turning, I'm going to turn on my moving averages, and you see my famous Coach's Lightning, this orange line, which is the 5 MA, and the blue is the 9 MA. If I switch over to the 4-hour chart, we have a very strong sell signal here. Okay, and you see the 5 and the 9 cross, and we're headed on the way down. Okay, we had a red candle to begin the day, and we ended up with potentially a reversal hammer. Not sure how much of that is going to help because the rest of the market is doing the same thing. So let's come over to Apple. Let's look at Apple. So Apple met its resistance and is still continuing to go down. If I look at Apple on the 4-hour chart, okay, the 5 and 9 have already flipped. If I turn on my Heikin-Ashi, you see there we have a sell signal. Okay, Amazon, same thing, we have a sell signal. Tesla, we have a sell signal. Okay, and Tesla as well is closing lower and lower each day on the daily. So now we have 4 days of Tesla closing with lower numbers, and that is very bearish, especially for Tesla. Okay, so I can come over here to Microsoft as well on the 4-hour, and we have another sell signal. So the entire market is looking super bearish. Look at all these numbers on the right, they're super red. Now something to look at, something to keep an eye at, is the 20-year bond is turning. The dollar started to turn. Okay, this is a simple one for me. We can come over here to the daily chart and we will see that we had some resistance right in here, and so we hit it. But now we see on the daily, we see a little candle here crossing this line. If I go over to the 4-hour, okay, you can see it's already crossing over. If I turn on my Heikin-Ashi, not only do I have a buy signal, I have the 5, this orange line, Coach's Lightning, is already crossed with the 9. And for further confirmation, I can come here and I can see the same thing on my RSI. I've crossed the 50 on the RSI. And you can see on the MACD, we have a strong move up. So keep an eye on the dollar. The dollar is going to dictate what happens with SPX. So in history, when the dollar goes up, SPX starts to go down. Now, last but not least, let's go over to Asia and see what's going on there as we speak. And you can see that the NI 225, okay, is still on the way down. Okay, so I have my Heikin-Ashi candles turned on, and this is a rising wedge, and now we're starting to see a lower high for Nikkei 225. Okay, now what's the important part here for me? I'm going to turn on my Coach's Lightning and my 9MA, and you can see, just like we noted here the first time they crossed on the daily, now they've crossed here again, and we can see another fall from this point up until this bottom. We saw a, let me move this over and get you a good number. We saw an 8% decline. Okay, so this market is still red. We do have the Hang Seng index that is looking bullish, but when I come over to the 1-hour and I turn this on, I see it in a decline now. Let me draw that out for you real quickly. You see this, it met some resistance there. Now, that doesn't mean anything until we start confirming what's going on with the RSI. The RSI was in a very overbought area, okay, and it's doing the same thing. We're seeing some heavy resistance there. And on the MACD, we have officially flipped on the 1-hour. Even though it shows like it could potentially be headed up, okay, then that would mean a negative divergence. So be careful tomorrow. Okay, if you're going to enter and you're not sure, paper trade it. Paper trading will get you the practice you need, and you don't have to miss out on trading. Log it down in the journal. If you guys need some assistance and want to learn how to do this and become a better trader, better investor, I'm going to leave you some links down below for some courses I've built. The link below will give you 25% off. So Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and do me a favor, share this with your family and friends if they want to learn how to invest. We will help them out. So until the next market update, I'm wishing you guys a green day tomorrow, and don't forget, paper trading is practice.